Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first episode of Quest Log, our podcast about faith and gaming. If you didn't listen to our trailer, I'm Tim Hannon. I'm a priest in the Episcopal Church. I'm joined by
Me. Helene Hannon. I'm a librarian and Tim's wife, by the way.
and I'm her husband.
Yes.
I refuse to repeat this information. If you're listening, you have to go watch the trailer.
Joseph
Know
doesn't
about
like
me?
to cooperate. It's English
All right.
teacher, so you know how they get. I don't know what that means, sir.
All right, I will say if you didn't listen to the trailer, I'm just joking. I'm excited to be here and to be talking with my two very good friends, Tim and Helene. I am an English teacher. Yep, high school English teacher. Did my PhD in medieval studies, and it was doing graduate school that I met Tim and Helene. More or less newly returned from Japan, actually. Yeah, from a stint in Japan. And I had been playing video games a long time, as they had also, and we bonded over that as well as other things, including our faith. But also, they were tabletop gamers, which is something I had never done. So maybe we'll talk about that sometime, about them pulling me into tabletop gaming when I thought, oh, I don't know.
Well, when Helene and I met each other, we met each other in undergraduate on the first day of college. Helene was very, very hesitant to do anything with someone who liked Star Trek.
It's true.
Really?
True.
And I had to pull her into that as well.
I didn't know that about you, Helene.
Well, you'll learn a lot of things about me.
We've been friends since 2008, and I didn't know that you didn't like Star Trek at first.
No, and of course, it was unreasonable.
Of course it was,
had
yes.
this. I had to have something that was too far into the nerd culture that it just, could say, I'm not at least stepping that far. And it was,
I'm not.
it's just totally arbitrary, but I chose Star Trek. And now, of course, I'm a big fan. So,
Oh, that's funny. All right, yes, I may be into nerd culture, but I didn't go that far.
I don't think that I mean, Helene, Joseph, you may be able to say against this, but, or speak against this, but I don't think I had it too far. Because like when Doctor Who came out again, I was like, let's go. And Helene's like, that's too far. And of course we watched it and we loved it.
Hmm.
But since I was young, especially with Japanese role-playing games, I was just like, whatever it is, give it to me. Whatever it is, give it to me. And that got me interested in a lot of things, and with anime too, that for me and my faith, we're kind of like, I mean, watching Neon Genesis Evangelion and playing Final Fantasy games where you like kill deities and stuff like that.
That's pretty heady.
Well, my faith kind of didn't seem to be in conflict in it, but that always surprised me, and it always surprised other people when I told them, "Oh, I'm a Christian and I watch Evangelion."
And why did that surprise? Why do you think that surprises people? I mean, I think I know why, but I want to hear you say.
There are a lot of exploding crosses and things. The imagery is a little heavy-handed at times.
One of the characters, maybe becomes a god in it. It's just it's done all from. I mean, Japanese culture is done from a Shinto and a Buddhist perspective, not from a Christian Western perspective. So sometimes they don't really rub shoulders in the ways that they should. And I just that freedom was something that I always liked.
Mm.
I liked the freedom to be able to imagine within the Christian story. So when I got to stuff like John Milton in graduate school, Paradise Lost, and C.S. Lewis's Space Trilogy, Lord of the Rings. When I got to that stuff, I was excited. That kind of stuff excited me.
Yeah.
So to see it in anime and video games, it just seemed natural.
So is this the kind of thing like your sense of enjoying those parts of anime video games that are not explicitly Christian and may not even really on the surface seem to gel with it at all? Is this akin to, I often think about something Tolkien said about the Arthurian legend, that the big drawback for him was, as a mythic cycle, as much as he liked Arthurian stories, was that they were explicitly Christian. And so his sense was that to get at the faith, you needed something, almost a kind of mirror of it. It had to be indirect rather than explicit or overt. It was best achieved sort of, I don't know, covertly. Like, this is what he liked about finding things in, I don't know, Norse mythology and so forth that pointed him to the faith. It actually, in some ways, benefits from not being explicit. Is that right?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I never really thought of it that way. Oh no, like, oh yeah, we've been friends for 20 years or something like that. But here's this new insight that Joseph has.
More. Nearly 30.
Well, yeah, let's keep on going. Just let's.
No, but I mean, it was 2008 that I met.
Was it 2008?
Oh my
Oh yeah, it has been
goodness.
30.
We're
Well,
so
yeah.
wrong.
Oh yeah. Why don't I keep on thinking it's 17 years? Yeah, you're right.
Mhm.
30 years.
Oh my
And
goodness.
yeah, because
Wait.
Tolkien's a whole big. No, it's 20 years.
Yeah, I was wrong.
Yeah, had him edit that out.
Man, this is like the other night when I brought up we were having our Thursday night Skype session, because we meet every Thursday night to talk on Skype, and I brought this little bag of like little brownie cupcakes things that I got at the store, and the box had said 20 brownies, 4 bags, and I was like, good. What?
This is nothing like that.
No, yes, it is. Listen to the story, because I
Not
said
Sorry, I was there.
and then I said to myself, great, 20 brownies, that says on the box, 4 bags. And I was like, so I'll get 5 brownies out of this bag. And then while I was talking to you guys, I was like, where's my 5th brownie? And because there's 4 per bag,
Right, and there are 5
because
bags.
5 bags to get to 20 brownies is 4 per bag. The relevance of the story is that I can't do math.
Right,
Yeah.
that's true. Okay.
So 20 years, not 30.
20 years. So anyway,
So Tolkien.
so yeah.
But
So
that's why, Santa Claus is in Narnia, but not in Lord of the Rings.
yeah,
Yes,
No.
it is one of those things. Yes.
Tolkien could not abide the fact that Santa Claus shows up in,
Even
the first Narnia book, which I
Right.
still think is The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Um,
Yeah.
and
We don't go by that numbering, that new numbering
yeah, that new numbering.
from the 90s.
I completely agree with that. Because I don't know. So when you just read a straight narrative, I mean, scripture is scripture. That's one thing. And that's important on a different level. But when you read just a reimagining of it strictly, or not even a reimagining, just a restatement of scripture, it doesn't hit the right way. To get into that imaginative world of scripture, to get in the imaginative world of being a Christian, it needs a little bit of a twist, a little bit of a spin, a little bit of a stepping to the side, which is why, as a kid, as I was playing, Final Fantasy 6 and 7, Chrono Trigger, Xenogears, as I was playing these games, I was also reading Lord of the Rings and the Silmarillion, which are set in a pre-Christian world
Mhm.
that still has ideas of Christianity kind of bubbling up within them, and
Yeah.
Tolkien wanted to have that as pointing towards Christ eventually coming. Which when I read that, I was like, yes, that's exactly what Lord of the Rings is. That's exactly it.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. And that's and now I think of what you're thinking about makes me also think of C.S. Lewis, because what he described it as the watchful dragons when he was talking about using the Christian faith in a somewhat, you know, subverted or less obvious way. I mean, you might kind of say, how is it not obvious in Narnia? But maybe he didn't think it was so obvious that it's obviously Christian. But that's what he called it, like sneaking past those watchful dragons. Because when you are reading something that is explicitly, overtly Christian in like topic, there are all these kind of, maybe, I don't know, guardrails, or there is something kind of maybe hanging over you. I mean, none of us are here to, cast aspersions on explicitly Christian literature. You were just talking about enjoying Paradise Lost, for example. Um, but I do mean there is a kind of like guardedness, and it kind of like you were free to watch those things and get in the kind of glimpses of, or the Christian, the glimpses of Christian truth, Christian goodness also, because, all good things come from God. If it's good, it came from him. If it's good and it comes from, if it's coming out of Shinto or Buddhism and it's good, it's from God. So anyway, you were getting all of those things without having to be thinking, oh, I'm reading Christian literature or I'm getting Christian teaching, and it just kind of therefore soaks in, I guess.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, so you looked at me, so
Oh, I
I could
just
talk. No, I'm just thinking about how even like Jesus's parables aren't
yeah,
necessarily easy to understand or on point,
yeah,
or a lot of, and that's where a lot of the understanding comes from, is people discussing and getting together and talking about things when their meaning isn't always immediately apparent.
yeah,
And
right. That's exactly that kind of thing, right? The parables are such a good example. I like where our conversation today is going. In so the takeaway is that Neon Genesis Evangelion and Final Fantasy and Chrono Trigger are, kind of like the parables.
It's true, it's true. They're ways of exploring heroism, confusion at a confusing world. I mean, we look at the parables and think like, oh, okay, Jesus is explaining all these important things about God, but so many people in the parables are confused, lost. That's kind of where many characters in gaming and anime are. I mean, Shinji Ikari in Evangelion is lost and depressed and um has emotional scars, and those are the people who Jesus is talking to.
Hmm.
Um, and that process of healing, which M many the Joseph, I think we told you once, there's a joke that there are 3 types of video games. There's, the shooting is shooter, there's a metaphor for depression, and there's Nintendo games. Oh, of course, I like the middle one, the metaphor for depression, but really,
yeah.
at the end of the day, most of these games follow someone being healed, follow someone being, opening up to a world that isn't as closed off and hidden from everyone. That they're opening up to a brighter and renewed world. That's something that no Christian need. What's the quote? That no Christian need be ashamed of.
Yeah.
It said.
Yeah, right. Yes, that's right. Yeah, right. It's speaking to those things. And since we're going on this line, I will just say that Mario Kart is a profound metaphor for Boethian philosophy about the sudden turns of fortune that life subjects us
Listen,
to.
Mario Kart was great until the blue turtle shells came.
No, no, that's the
As
perfect
soon as those were invented, it went downhill.
That's the perfect example of
Man.
the sudden change in fortune. Oh, you think. See, Boethius, what is he, 6th century AD philosopher. He would have loved Mario Kart. He'd have been like, yes, this is how reality works. You just think everything's going great
Now that's what
until
ghosts
suddenly
for.
the blue shell comes.
Nah, man.
No.
I think this is perfect. This is perfect, and I think that Helene's dissatisfaction with that would also make Boethius happy.
Oh, that's true.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, I don't have to like it even though it reflects the world. Or because it reflects the world, that's why I don't like it.
Right.
I see.
Well, I mean, yeah, he wrote his book, The Consolation of Philosophy. He had to be consoled because of the blue shells.
It's a consolation, but it isn't a making happy of. I mean, he's not
Right.
happy at the end of it. He's dead at the end of it.
Yeah.
Like the blue shell.
Right, because of the blue shell. Theodoric the Ostrogoth, aka the blue shell in Mario Kart.
I gotta make some fan art now.
Yes. Yes.
Of the first Boethian fan art cosplay.
Probably will be.
Well,
It's at least
if someone listening is an artist, because, I do collages, but I don't, like, draw very well. But if someone is interested in making some Boethian blue shell fan. I would love to see that.
That I feel confident in asserting that if you do, anyone out there, you will be the first in the world
Yeah.
in, in 1,500 plus years, no one else has done this.
No one else has made any kind of fan art, like
Of Boethius,
floral arc.
of combining Boethius and Mario Kart, yeah.
Specifically of that, yes.
That's wait. Maybe we could have like a whole bunch of different philosophers
Yeah.
playing the
Okay, yeah, right. That's right. Right, we could get into the different Augustine, Aquinas,
Sure.
what video game is them?
Yeah.
This could be a future avenue to explore.
Or
Well, I mean, a
yeah.
web comic for Questlog would be wonderful.
That's true. So, yes, this is, so what we're getting at, right, is that these things are, and no Christian need be, ashamed of this, these things, video games, uh, these are preparations for the gospel. These speak to people, even without them necessarily knowing it. Here's the goodness and truth, or the hard truth of the blue shell, but the hard truth, the goodness, whatever it is, these are, Christian things coming through.
And I've always loved the image of making a garden inside of your heart for God, to walk around in and love. I'm bad at quoting where scripture comes from. So that part in the Gospels where Jesus says, foxes have their holes and birds in the air have their nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. I always felt so sad for Jesus. I kind of feel like I want to wrap my arms around him.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
so sorry that when you became human, God, things went really south really quick.
Yeah.
And so like we get to tend this garden inside of our heart for God to come and play in. But really what it is God is tending a garden in his heart for us to find solace. And God does that through a variety of things. For me, the natural world. I grew up in a forest and went outside and played and imagined everything, mostly from video games and anime and whatnot. But God can use those things to make this garden inside of our heart for us to find solace in. And if it just so happens to be something like Xenogears, where a lot of people say, "Oh, well, you kill God in Xenogears." You don't really kill God. Someone named an interplanetary destructive weapon Deus, and you destroy that weapon. Um, so you don't really kill God. You just kill something called Deus. But even still,
Yeah.
that God can use that. Like, why limit God to what we think is in this box called Christianity? Why limit God to that? God can speak through many more different things than that because God is omnipotent and omniscient.
Right. All through creation.
Well, sure. And think about how many people get involved with, creating video games and anime and movies or any of that, even a book. It's not just
Yeah.
one person doing it, it's all the people who help proofread, the editors, like it just, we could go into reader response that anytime someone reads a book, they're participating in it. So it's,
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot more like hidden community there, I think, that um, is something that we can kind of get into, you know?
Ooh, that's nice. Yeah. That is really nice.
Hmm.
And that's one of the things that I think made for the three of us, made gaming and tabletop gaming and video gaming, watching anime, so appealing. Joseph, I'll let you speak to this yourself, but when I was in middle school and early high school, I liked Lord of the Rings. I was so ashamed that I would tell people I like Lord of the Rings, and here it's this like international bestseller.
Now,
But I was like, oh
yeah.
no, I'm going to be made fun of if I tell people I like the Silmarillion.
Right.
And the same thing with anime. But then we went to a Otakon in Baltimore in 2001. No, no, no.
That's when I went.
Yeah, that's when you went.
Mhm.
Was it like 1998 or something?
Mm.
And we had to get our parents' permission. They had to write a permission slip, I guess. But I finally found people who were like, they wanted to do this stuff too. They wanted to be in it. They wanted to talk about it, and that freedom of going into that community, was so appealing to me that I didn't need to hide this stuff anymore.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't that nice? Right. Well, and that is very near and dear to my heart because in a very special way, because that experience for me was the two of you. I mean,
Yay.
I don't yeah, and not to make you, blush and get all sentimental, but that is right. I grew up in a small town, uh, also in a very rural part of the country in southern Mississippi, and I did not know other people who were into things like video games or anything more broadly defined as nerd culture. So I was all into Star Wars. I was into anime, although I think I knew less about it than I think you did, Tim. I think you grew up with more your repertoire that you were familiar with exceeds my own. But I liked whatever I get my hands on, or like what the Sci-Fi Channel showed, whatever I caught. And, so all this kind of stuff in Star Wars and various things, but really did not know anyone, but kept not knowing one through college. I mean, yeah, except like my siblings, for example. Uh, like, and I don't want to undersell them, but outside of my family, I didn't really share this stuff with people. And uh so not until grad school, meeting you guys was this like, "Oh, here is that kind of companionship. This is not just a private idiosyncratic, pursuit, a kind of lonely, solitary, interest." So it makes a great difference to meet people and know people who also care about this stuff. Let alone people who want to talk about the integration of all of this with one's faith. I mean, that's just like extra extra bonus. God is being extra kind to me there. Um,
One of the things that I was thinking of while you were talking, I was thinking of when people come up to communion, and I'm distributing the bread and the wine. Um, it almost feels like I get to meet people again and be like, "Oh, you too, you also love this."
yeah.
So they're like,
Cool.
I became a priest because the Eucharist was so cool.
Yes.
Literally was sitting with Joseph and Helene in an Episcopal church, and I was like, "Egads, this is the most amazing thing. I love communion. I never had it before." Um, and I said, I wanna do this. I wanna be in the center of this, not in the center of it like, I wanna be Jesus or anything like that. We all become Jesus. Yeah, okay, whatever. But, like, I wanna be the priest. I wanna be leading people to this and calling people to this. But, now I get to see on Sunday mornings, like, people come up and be like, "You would love this too." And that's the kind of feeling I have with when I meet another gamer or someone who likes anime or when the three of us talk, it's like, we love this stuff too. And I don't have to hide it. I don't have to, and it's not just me. It's like Colleen was saying, all these other people are involved in making this stuff.
Mhm.
All of these other people were involved in producing it and thinking about it and drawing it or writing it, producing music for it. We're not mentioning Adam, who is behind the scenes not talking to us and
Right.
editing all this stuff. Thank you very much, Adam.
Even right now.
Even right now. Uh, I asked
Here,
him.
helping.
I asked him. So like he's our Roz to our Frasier. So Frasier Crane, he's the Roz like making everything happen. But there are so many people involved in this, and the same thing with the church. There's so many people involved in making a church what it is. This movable, collection of people, this community that goes out and heals and helps and lifts up people who are lost and alone. Um, we could be like, wow, it's not just me who wants to do that. It's not just me who has this hope for the human race. It's not just me who has this deep faith, but there's these other people too, and they're very different than me.
Yeah. Right.
They have very different, likes and enjoyments. Adam was telling us about how he had friends who were, on the football team, and he had friends who were tabletop gamers, and every once in a while they would like cross paths, and football players would come to the gaming table, and they'd be like, hesitant at first, but then they realize how wonderful that is,
Yeah, that's cool.
how it joins people together.
Yeah, that is really, really excellent.
You
That's
said. you've said that you're the forever DM, and I think I understand. You know, a lot of times when we've lived in different places around the country. You know, we were in Oregon for a while, and Tennessee, and Georgia, and New Jersey, and New York, and just a whole bunch of different places. And in each place, we've drawn people in to join us, and we've often like been teaching people how to play D&D or other tabletop role playing games. And it's just neat because now some of we've moved away, and those people have started their own gaming groups, and those people, are connecting with other ones, and doing board game nights and things like that. So it's really cool how these things can just spread, and they're so based on hope that it's nice to spread hope in that
Yes.
way. You know,
Oh, yes.
it's
Oh,
cool.
yes. Hope, that's right. It's so nice to spread hope, and that kind of warmth of sharing something and maybe even being, and I think doing this is part of the part of the bringing hope, the warmth of fellowship and maybe even the playfulness and humor, uh, you can come away like, in other words, the playfulness, the shared joking and fun of doing this together is a source of hope, and fellowship and joking together is so, uh is so vital. I remember when we first became friends, coming over to your apartment Friday evenings or Friday nights and playing this old Sega game. You were like, "Oh, that you guys were like, this is so wacky and fun." And we would play it every week, Gain Ground, and which you play these gained ground. Is it a participle?
Game ground. No.
Gain ground, like an imperative. Do it.
Imperative, yeah.
Gain the ground. And not only did we play it, we came up with these ridiculous stories because what if you've never played the game, you play as these different characters with different powers and weapons, and we had all this fun imagining like what the movie version of this would be. Do you remember this? Yeah, it does. Like there's one player uh who throws spears and they just hit the wall. But there's another player who can actually throw them over the wall. So imagine this movie scene. We would like play it out like this one guy's like just throwing spears at a wall while the enemy's up above on the turrets shooting down at you. And this other guy runs up, I've got it. And he leans back and he throws it over the wall and hits the people up on the turret. Or you shoot this bazooka thing with this missile that just crawls across the screen at its target, and the target never moves because it's this video game. They just sit there. So we would imagine this movie scene where you shoot the missile and it just slowly glides across the screen, and the other guy sees it coming, but for some reason he doesn't move, and he's just like, "No, no!" The missile comes and blows him up. We had a whole movie of this game, and it was ridiculous.
No, it's true. Somehow that's bringing us to a better understanding of God.
It is what it's fellowship and it's hope.
Right, there you
It's
go.
fellowship. It's hope.
Oh, teamwork, right?
And it's just glorying and reveling in the joy that is community.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
God doesn't want us to get together just to do just so that we can pray our prayers and leave.
Mm.
God wants us to have fun. The joke about that Episcopalians tell ourselves. I don't know if anyone else tell this jokes about us, but we have an eighth commandment, not an eighth commandment, an eighth sacrament, and the eighth sacrament is coffee hour because
That's the right.
it's so important.
Yeah. That's I like that. It's is coffee hour. I am into this.
Yes, yeah. But unfortunately, church coffee is never known for being very good.
It would be if I made it.
Ours is well, you make it like a Sunday. Like
Wait, who does?
you make it like a ice cream sundae.
Oh, yes. Well, no, yes, that's true. I mean, but I'm not. I know I put lots of sugar and sweetener in. It has to be sweet. That's how I was taught growing up. How you have coffee.
You were
But
taught
I'm not volunteering. I wouldn't be volunteering to prepare everyone's coffee. I just mean I would brew it good.
so you can brew like Folgers better than other people.
Yes, exactly. It's all about Helene could back me up on this. She knows how it works. You just don't know because
I'm a
you're
new
not a
coffee
coffee drinker.
No, I am a coffee drinker now. I'm just new to being a coffee.
Okay, so it all depends on the water and grounds ratio.
That's true.
Yeah, see?
It this just feels like that scene in My Cousin Vinny, where they're talking about how long it takes to make grits. Right, but that's a sticking point, and one of the reasons that he wins the case.
That's right. That's right. I remember that. I remember that. Well, speaking of, television and movies, I want to say if our podcast is a metaphor for Frasier, and our good man Adam behind the scenes is Ross to our Frasier, are you saying that the three of us together are Frasier? Like each of us embodies a different part of Frasier?
Well, it's
Like
kind of
the
like
Trinity of Frasier?
like a trinity. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's a trinity.
See, it is that complicated. See, it is that complicated.
Well, because the nice thing about Frasier is that he is also a trinity of his brother, his father, and
Oh,
Daphne.
wait. Oh, yes, right. Yes. So there's Frasier, and then there's Frasier the father, Frasier the brother, and Frasier the housekeeper the brother is in love with.
Well, yes,
This is weird.
it's called periocosis. It's a self-giving love, the emptying of the self
Oh, okay.
into the other part of the trinity.
Oh, you're really redeeming this.
While this religion's about redemption.
That's right. That's right. There it is.
There
There it is. Tune in next time.
Tune in next time
As because I want to talk. I mean, I think we are coming near to the end of our first program, but I want you talked about your experience early on. I want you to analyze for me my first video game experience which my earliest video game memory is of playing Donkey Kong in an arcade cabinet that my parents had at a store they owned. So I think we need to unpack the theological significance of this next.
I can theologize anything. I am a priest.
That's true. That's right. That's right.
But should you?
Should you? Yes. It's kind of like Ian Malcolm. We've been given the power to do it, but
Right.
we only stop the things
So
we should.
wait. All right. So another takeaway. So priests clone dinosaurs is what you're telling me.
Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. We'll end on priests cloning dinosaurs.
That's a headline.
Yeah, that's a tagline thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Tune in next time as we talk more about the church, about video games, and about Joseph playing Dragon Warrior for the first time too.
That's a project for me. That's right.
Yeah. Thanks everyone. God bless.
Goodbye.
Maybe we should ask Adam to edit out the part about you insulting church coffee.
Why?
Because one of your parishioners might be listening.
No, everyone knows church coffee is.
No, yeah.
Oh, but we all pretend. It's like
We all pretend.